Take me home. Take me home. Give me 1 second here, guys. I've got the news conference up. He's not on stage just yet. I'll have it piped in down below here in just a minute. Staying tight here. Give me 1 quick second here. Give me 1 quick second. Market holding the hourly trigger here.
Your hair looks so cute. My arm is getting tired. Okay, can you bring my mic up? I'll give one more mic check. I'm gonna give you guys one more mic check. Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check. You guys good in MC? Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And then I'm going to change the
1,
chat
2,
to
3,
free
4,
for
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, they're good.
Like, subscribe. If you're on YouTube.
Okay, when will it stop?
What's your plan?
Hang tight here. Subscribers. If you want to join in the chat.
I do. Check skirt you if you're trying to talk to me, you're going to speak up. Yeah, no, I'd like some. I have no idea. I got it. I got it.
Staying tight here, guys. I got a couple more things I got to do in the background.
Fed slogan says uncertainty in the economy continues.
Oh, yes.
Fed slogan says one of the biggest uncertainties is from the tech sector.
So we had us coming up here, bumping up once and twice, then coming down on 12 o'clock close. At the same time, we had
Logan says, I
Trump
supported
tariff
the
struck
Fed
down.
January decision to hold steady.
Voice news disconnected.
We do have the press conference here live. Trump did make some comments earlier. We got a little bit of tacoing again on Iran. U.S. could owe more than $175 billion in refunds after Supreme Court ruling, estimates say. Trump says he says he's got a backup plan for tariffs. He said that before. He may hold off on that until the midterms, of course. That's been conjecture of that. He says also that we need to do something about the Supreme Court. I don't know what that means. We are on support right now. Remember that today is OpEx Day. On our website, we have a gamma tool that shows OpEx gamma for just that one day. The pin is at 690 for today, 693 for tomorrow, and then on Monday, I think it's 700. On the downside, today's pin is at, let me just check and make sure. Let me just check today. 675 is bottom of options market for today. 680 would be the stopping point on downside.
Well, just enough to move this out. I think it's fine.
This ticker here is SPY.
Yeah, I think we just need to. Everybody's got to move back about half a foot. It's happening. Just be ready. Everybody else is
We also have on one day GEX, not OpEx GEX, but one day GEX 694. Same bottom strike 675, trading 687.32 right now.
It was like to get all that part is no problem.
Just roll me over.
Yuri, how you doing?
Let me check this. I just want to check this. Let me get inside the Discord chat room. I'm missing chat really quick.
Are you on the phone with him?
Yeah, but I'll crawl back there and get you. Let me just.
Easier that.
Remember, today is OpEx. We got to drive the nail home. Very unusual to be having the Supreme Court strike down something like this today, and also Trump preparing a conference. Very unusual. Very abnormal, very unplanned. Crowd making a lot of noises right now. Dramatic lighting effects. Parked right on a cluster of the daily trigger, 1 and 5 minute trigger, 30 minutes and hourly. Yeah, do you see the light cue? That's very unusual.
This will be the light back there.
Disco, is there gonna be disco? Like,
Let me know if he starts coming. Seriously, let me know if something starts happening.
she said this is it. Carolyn Cedar, she said this is like our.
Cap. Is it set to auto white?
Yeah. Can you hold the card for his face for me?
Up more.
That's not my screen, that is.
What number did I get? What do we got?
Like 4,000? 44 minutes. 4,200? 41?
41. Good.
Thanks.
Good.
I got 38. They just changed the light. Just changed the light. Yeah, I got 38.
Does anybody have an orange folder out there we can borrow for this live stream?
Good. Okay.
Sorry, I got a bunch of stuff going on in the background. We got to do a color test for the live stream for Trump's thing. Is that like a, are those like Roman statues over there? What are those Roman columns? I can't tell.
Here, but the there is different.
Up there. I got 43.
Yeah, this is 41, 43, but the dot is like the.
Alright.
Yeah, that's here. That's the 41, 43, 42.
I'm using 299.
Yo. 41.
38.
41.
Nick. Nick. What do you get? What do you get? White.
This could prove the point, too, about OpEx. That we stay the fucking course today. There's no fucking way we don't stay the course. It is OpEx. This will prove the point that a nuclear bomb could go off today, and it would not change the path of the stank market. Now, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but Monday, is a whole nother story, but... And we actually have the OpEx data for Monday OpEx, Tuesday OpEx, and Wednesday OpEx. It's like 693, no, 693, 5, and 700 for SPY. We'll get new gamma data on Monday as well. Everything that I'm reading here in the background says outside of OpEx, tariff struck down means market go burr. We have some other news here. Trump considers new across-the-board tariffs on partners, source New York Times. Section 301 tariffs are one of the tools under discussion. Trump aides are also multi-using Section 122 tariffs. Hey, everything gets struck down, huh? We just had a whole bunch of stuff this week that got struck down, too. Then we had Trump this week said that he was going to take $10 billion for the Peace Council of Peace, or whatever it's called, with no funding approval from the Congress. So I don't know if this is, shit posting to piss people off, stir the pot. Or maybe the billions he collected from the members. I think it was $1 million buy-in per person. Maybe that's coming from that money. I'm not sure. I'm watching the option chain here. It's going down. Call options going down in price as stock market going up. Just a heads up out there. If you're looking for volatility, treat it very similar to a FOMC. So if you see any whipsaw type price action, be ready to buy a dip. We have some Bloomberg terminal information on the tariffs coming into the Discord right now. If you don't know who we are, it's tradethetrigger.com. Inside of our Discord, we've got, I'll read some of this to you. This is direct from, let me just download this. Hold on here. This is from a Bloomberg terminal here. I'm going to read this to you in the background. While we wait for Trump. I'm going to move this off the screen here. U.S. Supreme Court tariff ruling. U.S. Supreme Court strikes down Trump admin's global tariffs. Court rules 6-3. Trump exceeded his authority. Roberts writes for majority. The extent to which importers will be entitled to refunds is not addressed. Trump calls the ruling a disgrace, according to CNN, will brief media. Markets gyrate amid concerns about next moves on tariffs. The Association of Equipment Manufacturers, whose members include Caterpillar and Deere Incorporated, so check out Deere, and Cat hailed the court's ruling. It said it supports the Trump admin's efforts to bring manufacturing back to the U.S., but said navigating trade uncertainty and higher costs for parts over past year made their products less competitive in the U.S. and foreign markets. Quote, this has resulted in disrupted supply chains, delayed capital investments, reduced investment in R&D, and a slowdown in the expansion of domestic manufacturing capacity, AEM Senior VP of Government and Industry Relations, Kip Eiderberg, said in a statement. Quote, we urge the administration to use today's ruling as an opportunity to chart a new course for tariff policy and secure more trade agreements that expand market access for America's equipment manufacturers. Consumers, next one would be consumers aren't likely to see price changes anytime soon, according to Mike Bray, founder of Bray Corp, which owns hobby work stores that sell trains, games, and remote-controlled cars. So you're talking about profits going moonshots here, as long as there isn't something that's effective immediately today. Much of the merchandise retailers have on their shelves now, shelves now was imported under the tariffs. So companies can't afford to cut prices on these items, Bray said. It will take about 4 to 6 months for new items to be made and imported under new lower duties, he said. Quote, it takes longer for prices to go down for them to go up, Bray said. Toink Toys CEO Stephen Looney said he's already set prices for items like Marvel action figures. Sources mostly from China and is unsure whether he'll adjust them. Bloomberg's Jaewon Kang reported. If Toink no longer has to pay off tariffs, it could recoup the money it lost from higher costs last year. Loney said it wasn't clear yet how any refunds would be handled. You may want to be checking any kind of U.S. durable good type company or any kind of consumable goods, U.S.-based companies in the Dow, or even in small caps, mid caps. You also want to be watching, of course, Apple, any of these tech companies that get some of their products from overseas, knee-jerk reactions up. Thank you, Dr. CS, for posting that from the Bloomberg Terminal, brother. Still waiting on Trump. Market going higher, option prices going lower. Just a note. You're looking for an upside target, likely 690.
According to OpenAI,
I haven't looked at the OI and all of these yet. I gotta read through them and see if the OI is going down for Sphere.
Kevin, how much time left? Polls under review. Polls under review.
got it. I'll go with that. All right. I'm glad AI consultants.
Oh, okay.
There's only one of them.
There is only one, you're right.
How much time? 30 seconds. In the game? Yeah.
Donald Trump is preparing to deploy alternate trade powers after U.S. Supreme Court struck down his broad tariff authority. Options include using 301 to target countries over unfair trade practices. Previously used China in Section 122, which allows a temporary across-the-board tariff up to 15%. The admin has been planning contingencies for months and may focus new tariffs on countries without trade deals. While his main legal tool is gone, Trump still has multiple though more limited paths to response tariffs. Got the news squawker on here in the background. If it speaks over Trump when he speaks, we will turn it off. These white lines that you see here and here, if you see price go underneath this white line, no bueno, opens door to lower. Kind of like stuff down here, don't really be too concerned about it. Anyone want to take a guess at what time he comes out? I had him at 1, I think I said 1:30 or 4 p.m. If you have a different time when you think he actually shows, post it in the chat. We'll see who's correct. We'll use Price is Right rules. I've got 1:30. If you want 1:32, you can. A note to you on YouTube, I did turn the chat on for subscribers. It's free. Just click subscribe. Please like these videos if you can. If you're on Twitch, watching us on Twitch or elsewhere, Twitch, YouTube, we're streaming a bunch of different places, 4 or 5 different places now. If you want real-time markets, Twitch has no native delay. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're looking for real-time, you have to go to your settings and speed up the stream. It'll catch back up. YouTube does a native delay of like 12 seconds. Twitch has no native delay. You'll see a real-time stream. It's a few seconds, 1, 2, 3 seconds from real-time. There were rumors that if these tariffs are struck down, that Trump might give a even though he's considering. You want to listen closely today to we are considering, like the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, maybes, possiblies, versus we are. You know, we're going to do this. There was some argument that he would let this slip until the midterms are over. As a little bonus to supporters, and then bring it back up in the midterms. So you want to listen closely to see if he talks about that or not today. Maybes, possiblies versus we are going to do this. Also note, if you're not a market participant, today is OPEX day. Simplified, that means that this is the day where monthly options go to die. Options that expire today is that there's usually a large concentration of them. Everything except for the VIX that took place 2 days ago, or 2 days ago. Normally, we don't get breaking news like this on OPEX days. It's usually post by a day or 2 or 3. Allows the stock market to position So this is a really good example of, does the stock market stay on the tractor beam for all of these options to die? It likely will. Even if we get volatility, the market will likely stay. This is because of dealers, of
Shortly
course.
expecting results from the Fed reverse repo facility.
The middleman that sells options to suckers. Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say the deal. Well, some of it is that, but then other people sell options to suckers too, market participants. I'm going to post for you I'm going to post for you the whole ruling in the Discord market chat in its entirety.
4 counterparties take $496 million at the Fed's reverse repo operation.
Let me read this to you. This is breaking from the Bloomberg terminal as well. JP Morgan and Chase economist Michael Ferroli reckons there could be a boost to the economy from up to $200 billion in tariff refunds potentially due to businesses, but much depends on that how that cash is spent or saved. Quote, if the rebates were passed on to consumers, rebates, not cash, rebates, the boost to activity would be significant. In the more likely event that businesses keep the cash, the boost to activity should be smaller, as estimates of the fiscal multiplier from windfall transfers to businesses are usually quite small. The cost would be to widen this year's fiscal deficit to around 6.6% of GDP, a half-point increase. Again, that's $2 billion in tariff refunds. And you know that corporations are not going to want to give it back to you. And if you have to pry it out of their hands, it'll be through some kind of a bullshit rebate. You know, did you keep your receipt? Did you mail it in? All that kind of nonsense. I'm hanging out in the Pro Trader room right now. You know, see what these guys are saying inside the Pro Trader room. I'm gonna check Gex really quick and just see what Gex looks like on SPY, see if anyone is hedging right now. Oh yeah, everybody's hanging out in the Pro Chat now. What's going on, boys? Let's chat.
Fed's Logan says there are many factors at play following the tariff decision. It's unclear what will happen.
I'm gonna chat with these guys in here and see what they think. Yeah, boys.
Logan says I'll be paying attention to the effects of tariff refunds. And Fed's Logan says around 30,000 a month is the job market break even at the moment.
Yeah, your tariff refund. You're accounting for your. Well, that's the big question. Is everybody gonna go home and like start taking out, like pulling out all the receipts that I keep all my receipts? Like you start peeling off every fucking receipt that you have that's been impacted by tariffs.
Trump is now entering the room for the press briefing. He's taking the podium now. Again, Trump about to start speaking.
Woo. Can you imagine being the call? Well, I guess it's all AI now, like execute order AI customer service.
A new record. We set a record.
Trump's Supreme Court ruling is deeply disappointing.
Well, thank you very
Voice
much for
news
being here.
disconnected.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. I'd like to thank and congratulate Justices Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh for their strength and wisdom and love of our country.
I'm going to speed this up to
Which
get it
is
real time.
right now very proud of those justices. When you read the dissenting opinions, there's no way that anyone can argue against them. There's no way. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no. Just like in Congress, they're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty.
We'll put it over this guy.
You can do with some of our people. Others think they're being politically correct, which has happened before far too often with certain members of this court, and it's happened so often with this court. What a shame. Having to do with voting in particular, when in fact they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats, and not that this should have anything at all to do with it. They're very unpatriotic and disloyal to our Constitution. It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think. It's a small movement. I won by millions of votes. We won in a landslide. With all the cheating that went on, there was a lot of it, but we still won in a landslide. Too big to rig. But these people are obnoxious, ignorant, and loud. They're very loud, and I think certain justices are afraid of that. They don't want to do the right thing. They're afraid of it. This was an important case to me, more as a symbol of economic national security, and also, I would say, just for our country itself, so important, because we're doing so well as a country. We've never done so well. The good news is that there are methods, practices, statutes, and authorities, as recognized by the entire court in this terrible decision, and also as recognized by Congress, which they refer to, that are even stronger than the IEEPA tariffs available to me as President of the United States. And in actuality, I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses because I wanted to do, and it's very important, I wanted to be very well behaved because I wanted to do anything, I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court, because I understand the court. I understand how they are very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy. I have very effectively utilized tariffs over the past year to make America great again. Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained. Think of that. Nobody thought it was possible to do it within 4 years, and we did it in 1 year. They said you'll never be able, you'll go back and you read the geniuses, read their statements, all of the Nobel Prize winners in economics. They said, no, you couldn't do it in 4 years. Well, we didn't do it in 4 years. We did it in 1 year. We broke every record in the book, and we're continuing to do so. Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled. I settled 8 wars, whether you like it or not, including India, Pakistan, big ones, nuclear, could have been nuclear. Prime Minister of Pakistan said yesterday at the great meeting that we had, the Peace Board, he said yesterday that President Trump could have saved 35 million lives by getting us to stop fighting. They were getting ready to do some bad things. But they've given us great national security, these tariffs have. And together with our strong borders, reduced fentanyl coming into our country by 30%. When I use them as a penalty against countries illegally sending this poison into our country to poison our youth, all of those tariffs remain. They all remain. I don't know if you know that or not. They all remain. We're still getting them, and we will after the decision. I guess there's nobody left to appeal to. But again, those 3 people, such respect. I've had a lot of respect for them anyway, but such great respect. But other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, however, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision for those that thought they had us. And they're saying that I have the absolute right to license, but not the right to charge a license fee. So think of that. I have the right to license, which is a very powerful word. In many ways, license is more powerful than tariffs. In fact, I was thinking about using it. But they came up with the idea that I can license, just like the people that were opposing me told them to do, but not the right to charge a license fee. Think of that. Who ever heard of such a thing? What license has ever been issued without the right to charge a fee? You get a license, you charge a fee. It's automatic, but not with this court. But now the court has given me the unquestioned right to ban all sorts of things from coming into our country, to destroy foreign countries, but a much more powerful right than many people ever thought we even had, but not the right to charge a fee. How crazy is that? Our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. And it was a dead country 1.5 years ago under an incompetent president. But now I'm going to go in a different direction, probably the direction that I should have gone the first time, but I read the language. I'm very good at reading language, and it read our way 100%. But Now I'll go the way I could have gone originally, which is even stronger than our original choice. As Justice Kavanaugh, whose stock has gone so well, you have to see, I'm so proud of him, wrote in his dissent, although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. So, think of that. The decision might not substantially constrain. And it doesn't, he's right. In fact, I can charge much more than I was charging.
Just say it.
So I'm going to just start. Although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order tariffs going forward. That's because numerous other federal statutes, which is so true, authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs issued in this case. Even more tariffs,
Just say it.
Those statutes include, think of that, those statutes include, for example, the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, Section 232. All of these things I know so well. The Trade Act of 1974, Sections 122,
He's
201,
only calling
301.
them out right now. He hasn't
And the
said he's
Tariff
going to
Act
implement
of
them yet.
1930, Section 338, all clear. But it's a little bit longer process. I thought I'd make things simple.
The
But they didn't
elections
let
are
us do
coming.
that. I would like to thank Justice Kavanaugh for frankly, his genius and his great ability. Very proud of that appointment.
The elections
In
are
actuality,
coming.
while I am sure that they did not mean to do so, the Supreme Court's decision today made a president's ability to both regulate trade and impose tariffs more powerful and more crystal clear rather than less. I don't think they meant that. I'm sure they didn't.
No, you already had those other choices before.
And to think that the Democrats who oppose this only because they want to go the opposite way. They'd like to pack the court. They want to put on 21 people. They want
He
to pack
knows he
the
has an
court,
election coming, so he
pack
has to
the
be
Supreme
careful.
Court.
And at
Maybe
the
they
same
should
time,
do
he
it.
has to express his rage, which is
Maybe
fine.
they would be
I
better
get
off
it.
if they
I
did
get it.
They want to pack the court. They want to do anything to hurt our country.
Stop
There will
short
no
of
longer be
implementing
any doubt,
these other
and the
policies
income
just
coming
yet so
in
far.
and the protection of our companies and country will actually increase because of this decision. I don't think the court meant that, but
You know what he
it
wants
is.
to say.
Based on long-standing law and hundreds of victories, and even, as I was pointed out before, even thousands of victories over the years, to the contrary, the Supreme Court did not overrule tariffs. They merely overruled a particular use of IEEPA tariffs.
That's not true.
And essentially, it's used to get a fee. I can do anything I want with IEEPA.
We know you can do whatever you want, but you
just
haven't
can't
done it
charge
today.
Anybody for it? I can
Who's
license. I
squeezing
just
right now,
can't
trading
charge them. It's
688.44. They
ridiculous,
know
but
that he's
It's okay because we have
taco time.
other ways. Numerous other
Yeah.
ways. The ability to block, embargo,
time.
restrict, license,
It's
or
a taco
impose
time.
any
It's
other
a taco
condition
time.
on a foreign country's ability to conduct trade with the United States under IEEPA has been fully confirmed by this decision. So now there's no doubt, because, you know, there were a
I'm
lot of
making money
questions
right now.
about
You guys
tariffs.
making money in the pro
No
channel?
president
I'm
was
making
smart
bank.
enough to use them to protect our country from those countries and businesses that were ripping us
That was
off.
a nice trade right there.
You took a look at the deficits that we had with some of these countries. It was disgraceful what they got away with for many, many decades. But now
Nice
we know
little
because
pump
this
right there, little
decision
pumperoonie.
affirms all those things that some people weren't sure about. In order to protect, and it says so, in order to protect our country, a president can actually charge more tariffs than I was charging in the past period of a year under the various tariff authorities. So we can use other of the statutes, other of the tariff authorities, which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122.
He can do that.
Over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and I say quite simply, which I've said for a long time, make America great again. And interestingly, we've already made it great, so I don't have to use that, but I don't think we'll ever give up on MAGA. MAGA is always going to be with us. If you have a few questions, you can let us know. But just to end, so we're going forward, we will be able to take in more money, and there'll no longer be doubt, because there was always doubt. I know the people that brought the lawsuit, and they're sleazebags, major sleazebags, but I know them, and they're foreign country centric. They were sending things into our country, and the people representing them knew full well, but they were sending things into our country, and they were beneficial to other countries, but very, very bad for us. And I stopped it, and we'll just keep it going. So we have we have a totally firm decision now, and I don't think the court meant it, because the court doesn't show great spirit toward our country, in my opinion. A lot of bad decisions, but there are usually ways around it.
He just
this is
said
something
a bunch
we could have done, as Justice Kavanaugh said, we could have done this originally, but we're doing it now. And the numbers could be far greater than the hundreds of billions we've already taken in. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, I'm very curious.
There's one part here that's unknown.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Justice Thomas and Alito, as you know, are the most conservative constitutional justices. Do you think that you'll get to appoint 2 more justices later this term with similar ideologies? And what type of vetting process will they go through to ensure they uphold?
I don't know, but they're great justices. That's all I can say. And I hope they're going to be around a long time. I hope they're going to stay healthy. They're great people. They're great. And Justice Alito, too, to add to the group. These are great men.
Right.
With a great love of our country and a great understanding of the law.
Listen closely here.
Ask Congress to take additional action on tariffs now?
No, I don't need to. It's already been approved. I mean, I would ask Congress and probably get it. When people look at the real numbers, and you look at hundreds of billions of dollars that have come into our country. Yesterday, I was at a steel plant, as you know, and I went to great place, great plant, great, wonderful people. And they were telling me, I said to them, you were there, a lot of the press in this room. Of course, I don't think this plane's big enough to take.
He said he was going to sign a global tariff today, but then he kind of backpedaled from that at one point. So I want to clarify what he's saying.
Steel products. And I said, how are you? Nice to meet you. How's business? President, I'd love to kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man, but a very powerful, strong man. He's been in the steel business for many years. His father started it. And he said, sir, I want to kiss you. I said, why? He said, because we were down to working 1 hour a week, and then you came in and imposed tariffs.
Just want to see if we're parked on that 6900.
He said, sir, I want to kiss you so badly. And I said, no, thank you.
We've got a pin at 6900.
Just to finalize
closed today on
SPX, great place,
which is roughly right in here in this vicinity.
All up and down the highway. Same exact answer, sir. We're all going out of business.
We're
going
trading
to go
right now, 6898.
And now every one of us are thriving, and we're hiring people like we haven't. He said, like I've never, and he's been in business for, I think, 45 years, like we've never hired before. That's because of tariffs. And we're going to keep it going the same way. And you're going to start to see the results in a year from now when all those factories start that are under construction right now. You see all the construction numbers are so good. Those construction workers are building factories that are going to be open, including not only AI.
If he signs that bill today before 4 or around 4 p.m.,
Canada, who ripped
I'll
us off
stream
for 30%
it, but I want to see if he actually signs that bill or not today.
portion.
He
Over the
spoke
years,
out of a lot of different
they've
mouths
taken
today.
our market. They've taken our cars. They
And,
manufacture them in Japan, Germany, and all over the place.
Right?
Because nobody's standing in this position. The position I have as president of the United
and
States
decipher what
had
it
the
actually
insight,
means.
well, I don't know what it is to charge tariffs. You can make your product outside. You can put our people out of business. You can put everybody on the unemployment rolls. But if you're going to make a car in some other country, you're going to pay a 15, 20, 30% tariff. And those things would have never happened. We wouldn't have lost our business. Same thing with, as an example, Taiwan. Taiwan came in. They stole our chip business. They make chips. For 30 years longer, they made chip, and they put our companies. Intel would be now the largest company. I saved Intel.
You are getting refunds here. You guys understand that, right? You're getting refunds. You're going to get some kind of
all those companies
refund
in Taiwan are building factories,
rebates
in Arizona, Texas, and various other places.
Everything he's saying here is
they're all pouring into the
separate.
United States. But just like that great patriot said yesterday, sir, what you've done, nobody thought was possible. And Steve Moore, a highly respected economist, came into my office yesterday. He said, you've done something nobody's ever done. 22 Nobel Prize winners
and just a
in
note
economics
here, the Section 122 of the Trade Act allows tariffs up to 15% for just 150
and you said, no, we're going to have a booming country. We're going to have a booming country. You were right.
It's not like he gets to do this forever.
Were wrong.
He has to sign that today, I think, and then
booming. And it's booming because of the election on November 5th.
And so if you don't see him sign it,
it's booming for another reason. It's booming because of tariffs. Yeah, please.
You know, he comes back out and tacos tomorrow and says, well, we didn't sign the bill. We're going to wait and see and talk to some people and see what's going on.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. What will you say to foreign nations who seek to renegotiate their deals? And what did you mean a moment ago when you said that the Supreme Court has been swayed by foreign interests?
Well, I think that foreign interests are represented by people that I believe have undue influence. They have a lot of influence over the Supreme Court. Whether it's
some countries, their tariffs are going to come down, even if it's spread across the whole world.
Friendship,
a ton of countries, tariffs will actually be reduced where we procure goods from.
I don't like them. I think they're real slime balls. And got to do what's right for the country. You got to do what's right for the Constitution. That's why I respect so much Justice Thomas and Alito, Kavanaugh, because they not only dissented, their dissent is so strong. When you read their dissent, you know, a lot of times you'll read a dissent and it's like, well, you don't know, it could go either way. There's no other way. The good news is, it's like Justice Kavanaugh said, very strongly said, you have other ways you can go. You don't have to go that way. You can go other way. There are numerous other ways you can go.
I'll have
and
to
frankly,
read that.
this should have been done by presidents many years ago. They allowed our country to be eaten alive.
Let me look that up here.
50% of our car business. We used to make cars. We made all the cars. And then Mexico came, Canada came,
he says
Japan,
so much shit you can't
Germany.
trust what he says.
But they're all coming back now. They're all coming back at record levels.
There is no exception to the major questions doctrine for emergency statutes, nor does the fact that tariffs implicate foreign affairs render the doctrine inapplicable. The framers gave Congress alone.
It's been in a long time. January jobs report beat expectations. CPI report beat expectations. Real wages are up. What would you tell Americans who are worried that this decision will kind of throw the economy
if you're at the Discord, you should read this opinion because Kavanaugh did not say that.
Well, thank you for the question. And I will say this. We really are at a very important point. I've been waiting for this decision so long. They could have made this decision a long time ago. Not complex.
I'm reading it right now. It's right in front of me.
Decision, but they should have released this a long time ago.
I'm speed reading through the entire thing. I don't see Kavanaugh saying you can do something else. He's saying you can go to Congress. That's what he's saying.
Stronger because of it. Look, we were ripped off by almost every country in the world. If you look at the surpluses, almost every country in the world that did business with us,
this is pretty damning. This Supreme Court, this SCOTUS,
and I blame presidents for it because they're ultimately the leader.
Opinion here.
We were being ripped off by almost every single country in the world had some massive surpluses. China had hundreds of billions of dollars in surpluses with the United States. They rebuilt China. They rebuilt the army. We built China's army by allowing that to happen. I have a great relationship with President Xi, but he respects our country now. Now, what we've done, I charged China a 20% tariff as a penalty for sending fentanyl in. And that was 20 times more than they could make by selling fentanyl. And I said, you know, at some point you're going to say, like, and they have reduced it. You know, fentanyl is down by more than 30% coming into our country. Part of that is a strong border. We have a strong border now. But thank you. Thank you for your question.
Mr. President, sir, you warned once in a social media post that if the Supreme Court did this, shot down your tariffs, the U.S. would be, quote, financially defenseless. Are we financially defenseless right now?
No, because we're doing something in a different way. We're doing something in a very powerful way. And we're using things that some people thought we should have used in the first place. But it's more complicated. It's a little more complicated. The process takes a little more time. But the end result is going to get us more money. And I think it's going to be great.
You're not getting tariff shit until after the election.
Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. So,
SPY squeezing
Liberation
higher
Day,
now,
there's about
trading
$175 billion
$689.51
in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund
now targeting
$175 billion?
The daily, we've already rejected this twice. We should break above it this time.
And they don't even discuss that point. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions.
Price target above R3, 691.24. 690 is the pin just above this D right here.
Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that
you're in the
keep the money or don't keep the money, right?
You took calls
I guess
with
it has
me,
to
take
get
the money and
litigated
run.
for the next 2 years. So they write this terrible, defective decision, totally defective. It's almost like not written by smart people. And what they do, they don't even talk about that. Your question is very basic. That was the first question I asked also to make you feel good. They say, what about all the money that we've taken in? Sir, they don't discuss that. How crazy is that?
What you're saying is, are you saying that you don't plan to honor refunds for companies that file for them?
I just told you the answer, right? I told you the answer. It's not discussed. We'll end up being in court for the next 5 years.
That was a good trade.
Green.
Thank you, Mr. President. When you are talking about the relationship with countries that you have sought trade
right
deals
down
with,
here inside the Pro Channel and ran them all the way up.
To renegotiate those, what do you say to them, and do you view this as a potential undermining power for your negotiations?
We're going straight ahead with 10% straight across the board, which was the absolute right to do. And that's taking place. That's a lot of money coming into our country. And then during that period of about 5 months, we are doing the various investigations necessary to put fair tariffs or tariffs, period, on other countries.
I'm going to check
so
Monday
we're doing
targets
that period,
for
but
you
we're
right now.
immediately instituting the 10% provision, which we're allowed to do.
Oh,
and in
God,
the end, I
look
think
at
we'll
that
take in
tap
more
right
money
there.
than we've taken in before.
President, you've used the tariff revenue to pay for a host of
$694 target.
You'll pay for them. What happens?
Well, like the farmers.
Well, $691, then $694,
mistreated
and
by
then,
foreign countries very badly.
Are you ready? This is insane. Monday,
and last week I gave them $12 billion out of tariff money.
That's what I've got right now for 3 days.
We intend
703 as the magnet to the upside.
We
currently trading 690, 689, 87.
And now they've been confirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States. So there's no longer that
also
question out there
have 700 opening up for today's for OPEX in particular. I don't know that we can get there, but
us badly
it's another 100 points up there.
Have to pay a price for treating us badly.
Maybe end of the day, I don't know.
Countries that have been good to us will be treated very well. We just left the top person in a place called Vietnam. Just left my office. Great gentleman, strong and smart. He said, you know, I think this means you're allowed to charge us more tariffs than before.
Just a warning if you're short here
and,
that
Canada said
we have a 5-trigger
Jameson,
cluster
I might want to say it,
stacked
Jameson,
up to move higher and begin to trade
I hope you win this decision, because if you don't win, you'll actually be allowed to charge us with a little additional work,
SPX.
Higher tariffs. Jameson, you want to comment on that?
If you check out SPX on a 1 hour or 30-minute basis, it's pretty bullish here.
Out there. We have Section 122, which will be implemented today. It will be signed today and implemented very shortly. We have Section 301 investigations, which are incredibly legally durable, where we can investigate and address unfair trading practices that have led to our huge trade deficit. And so you can look forward in the coming days and weeks to seeing all of that come out, and we're going to keep continuity in the program We're going to keep addressing this so that the deficit can keep going down. That's the trend it has, and we can make America great again.
No.
So section 122 takes time. It's a
Several of
120
Republicans in
day or
Congress
50 day
have
tariff.
supported this decision by the Supreme Court. And Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, has called you a wannabe king. Why wouldn't
a low IQ?
But why wouldn't
he doesn't even know?
15%.
And I watched him the other day.
He's
interview.
trying
The
to
guy doesn't
skirt
even
the
know what a
Supreme
tariff
Court with
is.
the Section 122 stuff.
Criticism
No, not bipartisan.
of the tariffs.
Excuse me.
There's several
A few
Republicans
people.
have said that.
Yeah, a few people.
They must
just
apply
work with
equally
Congress
to
come
all
up with a plan
I don't have
countries.
to.
push tariffs
I have the
through.
right to do tariffs, and I've always had the right to do tariffs.
And
it's
it
all been
limits
approved by
any
Congress,
deal-making
so there's no reason to do
ability.
it. All we're doing is we're going through a little bit more complicated process. Not complicated very much, but a little more complicated than what we had. We'll be able to take in tariffs, more tariffs. And the Congress people and the
Voted
Congress.
down the Canadian tariffs last week.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
been votes
you
in
know
the
why?
Senate against it.
Yeah, because we lost 2 Republicans or 3 Republicans because they're not good Republicans. What you don't say, you don't say that we got 215 votes.
You need 218 for something to pass.
Yeah, sure we do. We might have lost 3 votes, and we got. And what was the score on the Republican side? 215 to 3, right? But you
Man,
don't
this
say that.
election's
We
gonna
have
be
great
fucking
unity.
spicy.
There's great unity in the Republican Party, and I hope everyone's going to vote Republican, because otherwise you won't have a country left. Because these people have been destroying. They are destroying our country. Please.
Mr. President, the 122 tariffs, that 10%,
Yeah.
is that going to be for 150 days, or do you want to charge that indefinitely?
We have a right to do pretty much what we want to do, but we're going to charge it starting effectively. I think it's 3 days from now. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, you speak to a lot of factory workers, a lot of manufacturing workers. What does the Supreme Court
Maybe,
ruling
think,
say?
possibly,
What's that
could,
message
should.
to those factory workers?
Well, I think the factory workers are happy because
Maybe
we're now
3
telling
days.
them that they're going to look.
He's got a guy,
The man
fat guy
I
over
met
there.
with
He's like,
yesterday who
we
owned
got a
the
lot
factory,
going on here, boss.
He was out of business. He was out of business, and now he's employing 5 times. In fact, I walked in. He's got a brand new crane. I said, "How old is that crane?" We got it in December. He's allowed to write it off in 1 minute. The Great Big Beautiful Act gave no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. He said this great big beautiful bill, frankly, has been the best thing that's ever happened for the workers of the, much more so than for rich people. The only thing it does for rich people, it allows them to hire a lot more people. But when I saw him, and then he said, it's all up and down the line. This is a place in Georgia, all up and down, other factories doing different, not only steel products, different. He said, every one of us was out of business. We could barely
You
make it.
got to remember, too, like this is like
Some of them were
10%
down to
across
less than
every
an hour
country.
a week. Think of it, 1
So,
hour a week.
no matter
to make
what he
just a few
does
little
here, even if he
trinkets or
did
whatever they make.
15%.
Now they're going round the clock. I had
across
it
the world.
a month ago. I went to
where we get our goods
Michigan,
and services
went
from.
to Ford,
they're up, most of
and
them
I
would be
met
coming
with
down
Bill Ford. They had
or
a
stay
Ford.
the same,
and
but not
we were
going
in one of the
up.
biggest plants, an original plant from the early 1900s. Where, by the way,
this still puts money back in the system, and
I
then
might
you're
add
talking
this,
about a
it's
process that's not
really
easy,
relevant, but it's
and they still
all
haven't done
relevant.
it. So
Murders
it's still
are down
ambiguous.
the lowest since 1900, around the time that he had this
I
plant.
mean, he says a lot
It's
of shit that
125
doesn't
years,
actually
we have
happen.
the lowest murder rate.
And then
Okay.
not only
and our
that,
crime
he
is
could
way down
say,
in the
well,
country.
we'll wait until we get the new Congress in
factories that we're
sitting
talking
after the
about,
election.
The people that we're talking about, they are so thrilled with Trump.
We're still
so whether
looking
we
into
charge
it.
IEEPA tariffs or whether we charge tariffs under a different section, that's what we're going to be doing.
In
There's
all
no way
cases,
we can
China
eliminate-
tariffs come
this
down
is what
too.
happened to our
China,
country. This
Vietnam,
is why we
there's
owe
a whole bunch of other ones. They should all
$38
come
trillion,
down.
which we'll
where
get
most
rid
of our goods and our goods
in
come from.
pretty good course. We have a very incompetent Fed chairman who likes high interest rates. For political reasons, he likes them. But we're going to have somebody very good. Interest rates should come down very substantially. I think we should pay the lowest interest rates on the planet. There should be no country, and we don't do that. We're number 38. This is just bad policy for a long period of time. But what's happened is we've made America strong again. We've made America great again. We should pay. As an example, the country of Switzerland, we were getting almost no tariffs from them.
I'm
We had
looking
a
at these countries'
$40
tariff
billion
rates right now. They're
deficit.
going to fucking collapse.
And the prime
Not
minister
collapse,
called
but
me
they're
up.
gonna
She
come
said,
back
but we are a small
huge.
country, because I said we're going to raise it to
Huge, as Trump would say.
39% from nothing. That would have rendered them not very successful, as opposed to right now they're considered elite. But if we put a tariff, they would. And I realized then, she said, But, sir, we are a small country. I said, you're a small country with a big deficit. For us, you're making a lot of money off the United States. If we do that, a lot of these elite countries, they're elite because we let them make so much money. And I want them to do well. But I don't want them to do well on the backs of the American taxpayer. So I appreciate your question. I think it's a reasonable answer.
President Trump, you said that you were disappointed with that, but were you surprised with this decision? What you felt when you...
I was surprised because I thought that what we did was, number one, according to, I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. I read everything there is to read, and I said, we can't lose this case. But we can when judges are political, when they want to be politically correct, when they're catering to a group of people in D.C. maybe. I don't know what it is, because when you read it, there's no other interpretation. There is no other interpretation. But it's okay, because what has come out, and I'll say it for the third time and maybe the last time in a while, is that we've taken the uncertainty of tariffs out, because we had uncertainty. We got sued by sleazebags, I know them well, that are very outside country, China-centric, but outside country-centric. And they're going to end up not doing as well as they did before. America was becoming really, really, we're strong again. Hey, we have the strongest military. I rebuilt the military in the first term. We have the most powerful military. We make the best equipment. And even them, you know, we could do much better. We have people that get paid a lot of money to manufacture Patriot missiles and javelins and all the different things. But when you want them, they're too slow. And we put them on notice, and they're going to make, our country is building a lot of things right now, and our country is doing really well. And we're going to keep it that way. The bottom line is that the word certainty
SPX trading 69.10, looking to trade 69.50.
Every single thing I said today is guaranteed certainty. It's been tested, as Jameson said 1,000 times. Literally, I said hundreds of times. He said, sir, actually thousands of times, and won in all of the courts. And we're just going back to that. And the problem is that we had other presidents that weren't into trade. Maybe they weren't business oriented. Maybe they weren't smart. We had some dummies too, you know. I respectfully say we had some real dummies. So we are going to.
If you're looking for that target on
just
SPY,
as before,
it's
probably more so.
693.08.
But you're no longer going to be asking every time I got up. You'd ask,
693.08.
well, what happens if you can't charge tariffs? Now we can. And by the way, in their decision, they specifically said we can do these. We have alternatives. Yeah.
David, on the trade deals that were negotiated using IEEPA tariffs, do those stand now, or are they have to be redone?
Well, some of them stand. Many of them stand. Some of them won't, and they'll be replaced with the other tariffs.
Mr. President, on the Supreme Court justices who ruled against this the policy, striking it down, are they still invited to your State of the Union next week? And will you speak with them?
They are invited.
These are your upper targets up here.
Barely.
Keep note.
3 are happily invited.
Do you see that white line up there?
They're barely invited.
If we hit that white line,
honestly, I couldn't care less if they
highs
come.
On a back test. So if you see price up here and nail this thing right here, there should be a back test and then
deal, which is the framework which is to be signed with India sometime soon. Will that stand now? And on the decision, nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
No, it doesn't stand. No, it doesn't.
And we will not be paying tariffs. Our deal with India is they pay tariffs. This is a reversal from what it used to be, as you know. India, I think Prime Minister Modi is a great gentleman, a great man.
All these deals are kaput.
But he was
all of them
much smarter than the people that he was against in terms of the United States. He was ripping us off in India. So we made a deal with India, and it's a fair deal now, and we are not paying tariffs to them, and they are paying tariffs. We did a little flip.
Are up as of now for this.
Mr. President.
No, the India deal is on here.
Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Mr. President.
All the deals are on it. We're just going to do it a different way.
Mr. President. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I think there's another war that you stopped and you should take the credit, which is in Syria. Secretary Rubio, after his meeting in Munich with the Syrian Foreign Minister and the Kurdish General Muslim Abdi, he said that President Trump was directly involved in efforts to stop the fighting between the Kurds and the Syrians. how will your administration will make sure that this peace is sustained? And do you support the idea
Well,
of...
it's a very different topic, and so I don't want to spend a lot of time. But all I can say is that the president of Syria, who I essentially put there, is doing a phenomenal job. He's a rough guy. He's not a choir boy. A choir boy couldn't do it. But Syria is coming together, really coming together well. And thus far, he's been very good to the Kurds. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. President, what's your message to the Iranian people after 2 rounds of talks with them? Do you have any message to the Iranian people?
The Iranian people in Iran or people here?
People in Iran.
They better negotiate a fair deal. They better negotiate. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time. They were going to hang 800, 2 weeks ago, hang, some by crane. They lift them up with a tall crane, and they play them around the square. They were going to hang 837 people. And I gave them the word, if you hang one person, even one person, that you're going to be hit right then and there. I wasn't waiting 2 weeks and negotiating. And they gave up the hanging. They didn't hang 837. Supposedly, they didn't hang anybody. But no, I feel very badly for the people of Iran. They've lived in hell. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You mentioned multiple times foreign influence over the Supreme Court. Do you have evidence of that? And if not, will you investigate that?
You're going to find out.
Oh, they're calling them out now.
What alternatives are you going to put into place in your relationship with Europe, and also those tariffs that has been called illegal? How they're going to go impact the relationship with Russia, your sanctions?
Well, I want Europe to strengthen up. Europe has gone woke. Europe is not recognizable when you go into so many places.
6965
Not all
on
countries.
futures.
You look at Hungary, you look at Poland, Czech, Slovakia. There are some countries that have gone very much the opposite, some really, and some others. But Europe has to be strong, and they become soft and not recognizable. You go into some of the countries, I don't want to be specific, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about, and they're not recognizable. They become, the environmentalists have taken over. They've got windmills destroying their fields and their beautiful meadows and their oceans, and they're paying a fortune. Now, Europe has to get smart. Europe's getting killed on two things, energy and immigration. And if they don't solve both of them fast, Europe is not the same place. Yeah, please.
Justices Gorsuch and Barrett, are you surprised in particular by their decision today?
I am.
And do you regret nominating them?
I don't want to say whether or not I regret. I think their decision was terrible. Yeah. I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth? The two of them. Yeah.
Specifically on that $2,000 tariff check.
Mr. President,
I didn't call you.
You didn't call me?
Yeah, Mr. President, to be clear, do you believe at the end of implementing these new tariff tools, the tariff rate and tariffs will ultimately be higher than they currently are?
Potentially higher. How much higher? It depends, whatever we want them to be. But we want them to be fair for other countries. And, you know, we have some countries that have treated us really badly for years, and it's going to be high for them. And we have other countries that have been very good, and it's going to be very reasonable for them. Yeah.
Specifically on the tariffs question, I mean on the $2,000.
I didn't call you.
Mr. President, thank you, Mr. President. Do you have any plans to travel to India for the Quad Summit, and how do you think your relationship with India is right now?
I think my relationship with India is fantastic, and we're doing trade with India. India pulled out of Russia. You know, India was getting its oil from Russia, right? And they pull way back at my request because we want to settle that horrible war where 25,000 people are dying every month. And my relationship with Prime Minister Modi is, I would say, great. I also stopped a war between India and Pakistan, as you know.
We're solving
10
wars.
planes we shot down.
God
that war
damn
was
it.
going, and probably going nuclear. And just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said, President Trump, saved
Well, he just said like it's going to be higher
lives
than that.
by getting them
He can't go higher than 15. That's it. 15.
And I did it
that's
largely
it.
with tariffs. I said,
And it has
look,
to be
you're gonna fight,
everybody.
that's fine, but you're not going to
And
do
he
business
can't
with the United
negotiate
States, and you're
side
gonna pay
deals.
a
There's like
200%
rules
tariff
to
each
this
country.
in stone.
And they
So he's
called
saying
up
a lot
and
of
they said,
things that are
"We have
not
made peace."
necessarily true.
Okay.
You can see that, of course.
I just want to thank you all. Look, great certainty has been brought back to the economy of the United States and actually the economy of the world, because we generate so much in the world. We're the biggest in the world, and we're now the strongest by far. We were a country that was dead 1.5 years ago. Now we have the hottest country in the world. We're going to keep it that way. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
So that's everything from Trump today on OpEx Day. He had look at those gray suits. This guy had when they panned those cameras left and right today. He had all the gray suits were there, all of them. Those guys that were there, those are attorneys and corporate heads. That's who that was. So he had a lot of people there today to be like no and yes. Or any questions that he needed to have answered that he couldn't answer himself. He said a lot of things today that aren't true at all. And that's fine. I'll give him a pass on this one today because he's got to say something. He has to say something. This is a pretty major setback for Trump. And he's got a Senate and House that is, it's there, but it's not there. And he has an election coming up as well. I would take what he said today with a grain of salt. And I would give it a few days to allow this to air out a little bit. He made a few statements, then he reneged on them, and then he got back to it. And then he's like, yeah. We're going to sign some stuff today. That's what I was listening for. And a gray suit walked over and was like, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And that's what I was listening for was clarification on that. So the fact that guy was there even says that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And there's no I don't see anything in my feed here that says they're going to sign anything into law at the end of the day today. And then they were talking about investigations, 301 investigations, the courts. We have to do something about the courts. Said that earlier and then walked around it a little bit today. I would say let the dust settle. I wouldn't take anything he said today as in stone. And take it more as like a response to what the strike down today. As far as the fallout from it, it's going to be days, if not weeks. None of this stuff should happen that quickly, and I doubt that even their people would want it to happen that quickly, any major changes. And even if we do get those changes, there are limitations on time and the amount of tariffs. I just looked at Chinese tariffs today. Like they're going down big. And that's one of our largest trading partners. So this is going to hurt. This is going to be, and it's not going to just hurt them. It's going to be a boon for corporations. And I doubt that a corporation is going to give you a check. I doubt it. And there's another problem here we got to talk about. And this is the zeitgeist. The zeitgeist is that tariffs were huge. It was a lot of money. And in truth, the input into these products is much smaller. The actual taxable input. And also, this is the problem with the zeitgeist. If you go back and look at inflation in durable goods and services, most of it was in services, not goods. So that implies that producers ate tariffs. It implies that corporations generally ate tariffs. As a matter of fact, Ford just came out in a guidance and said, we ate tariffs, but now we're going to begin passing them along to you. So, and I know that goes against what you've been told, but my point here is like, if you're expecting a rebate or a check, it's not going to be the amount you think it is. And the worst part, the most criminal part of these tariffs wasn't where they were applied. It was where they couldn't be applied, and that is services. So all these service companies jumped on the fucking bandwagon. If you got some guy selling a doodad and you got a guy selling a service, the guy at the service was like, "Woo, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna raise prices, man, because they're raising tariffs." And while these service companies were raising their prices, a ton of these companies did not. You know, this doesn't mean some guy that's buying a piece of shit doodad from Alibaba to resell to you didn't go out of business. But your day in, day out companies and corporations, people that sell you shit like your basket from China at Walmart or whatever, a lot of those people, those producers and corporations ate the tariffs. And not only that, the input versus the price they charge you for the good, it's nowhere near what you think it is. A lot of people have this idea that like a tariff on a good is, you know, like a can of a doodad can maybe cost you $1 and it goes up $1.50 and you seem to think that 50 cents was all built into tariffs. It's like 10 cents, something like that, 5 cents, 3 cents. So it is a boon to the economy as an aggregate. $200 billion will come back into the economy or come back into corporate profits. So you should see guides be raised for Q2 or Q1. You might have guide adjustments. Q1 report will come out in Q2, of course. So inside of Q2, you should see some guides go up for companies that don't pass along any of those rebates to you or refunds to you. And the companies that do offer you rebates, I think you're going to be shocked at how small they are. I know that I realize that you're told something else to enrage you, but that's not the facts, what you're told. So just be aware of that as you move forward with this like quote unquote windfall of $200 billion back into the economy. They're not going to want companies are not going to want to give back to you, and even if they do, it's going to be a bullshit rebate process. Like mail this in, it's got to be a paper receipt. We're not accepting email receipts. Sorry, bro, you're not just going to print that out and send it to me. It's going to be a long process. You're going to wait fucking 90 days to get it back. You're going to have companies that say, "I'm sorry, we ordered products like I told you earlier. We ordered our doodads, we ordered our pencils, bro, for the next year under tariffs, bro. And we got to make sure that there's not going to be this other any other tariff, so you're not getting your money back." So there's going to be a lot of that going on too. Once the money's out of your hand, you ever notice that today? I notice it today more than ever in my life. Once the money's out of your hand, they don't give a fuck. They don't fucking care. You're not getting it back. They'll do anything but give you the money back. It's the first time in my life, past like 5-10 years, first time in my life where they just want the money out of the hand. They don't care. So will it be a windfall? Probably 50% of that will be that windfall you'll get in some form, whether it's through corporate rebates or it's through corporate profits if you're in the stank market. And for the guy on Main Street, you're getting shit. You'll be lucky if you see anything. And I think the zeitgeist is the worst part of this, is that what people in their minds think they're going to get back for monies is much, much smaller. These companies are going to say to you, the tariff on us, our input was 10 cents on a dollar, and the input went up to 13 cents. And you bought a product from us 10 times, here's your check for $1 or 50 cents or something, if you even get that check. So, you know, it's a tough situation, or it's a tough situation for the consumer. Yeah, that's true. So here we go. So I've got the exact number for you if you want to know. It's $200 billion. I'll show it to you right now if you want to see it. This is coming from this thing costs $25,000 a month for the actual facts. So if you want to see it right here, I'll post it for you right now. You want the actual facts of the impact, the impact number. I'll just so you don't think, oh, some rando guy telling me this. I'll show it to you right now. I know you're not going to get this from CNBC or whatever. So this is straight from a Bloomberg terminal. You can see it right here. You can read it yourself. JPM Chase company economist Michael Ferroli reckons there could be a boost to the economy from up to $200 billion in tariff refunds potentially due to businesses, but much depends on how that cash is spent or saved. Quote, if the rebates were passed on to consumers, the boost to activity